You ever wonder what happens when an NBA player gets a contract worth tens of millions? Most people picture sports cars, designer clothes, or maybe a mansion or two. But the truth is far wilder, and sometimes way more reckless. It starts with Karl Anthony Towns, who didn't just upgrade his gaming setup. He built a custom $20,000 computer that looked more like an alien spacecraft than a PC. From the RGB lighting to the water cooling system that could rival a NASA lab, he turned his childhood gaming dreams into a reality. Meanwhile, not everyone spends wisely. Ja Morant, for example, got a little too generous on his 23rd birthday. He handed over the keys to his $400,000 Rolls-Royce Cullinan to his friends for the night. But the next morning, the rear bumper was hanging off. The car had been crashed, and instead of getting angry, Ja casually revealed that he had a backup Cullinan, just in case. When your bank account looks like his, you treat a $500,000 car like a spare pair of sneakers. Still, Ja doesn't come close to LeBron James. He once spent $6.5 million on a wristwatch so minimalist it didn't even sparkle. No diamonds, no gold plating, no flashy bezel, just understated craftsmanship that whispered wealth to those who knew what they were looking at. And yet, it might have been the most low-key flex in NBA history. But not every spending spree is glamorous. Ben Simmons lost $19 million not buying something but by refusing to play. After a disastrous playoff run in 2021, he skipped practices and games, demanding a trade from the 76ers. For each missed game, he was fined $360,000. After 54 games, the total crossed $19 million, a record that still echoes as one of the most expensive protests in league history. Then there's Luka Doncic, whose spending choices are as unpredictable as his passes. He adopted a pet horny toad, commissioned custom sneakers for a teammate's horse, and drove to games in a $300,000 apocalypse-ready tank truck. The vehicle looked like it belonged on a battlefield more than a basketball court. But to Luka, it was just another toy. For Jason Tatum, though, the real story isn't how much he spends, it's how he stopped from spending it. His mom manages all his money and won't let him touch his NBA salary. Instead, he's only allowed to spend what he makes from endorsements. Still, with that, he's made some impressive purchases, including a $4 million mansion with a full basketball court, just for his son, Deuce. Jordan Clarkson went a different route. After joining the Cavaliers in 2017, he transformed from clean cut into a walking mural. He started tattooing every inch of his body, spending over $20,000 turning himself into a human canvas, inspired by his ink-covered teammate, J.R. Smith. Tony Parker took luxury to another level entirely. He bought a 700-year-old castle in France. The Chateau Saint Laurent features secret tunnels, a personal vineyard, and enough rooms to get lost in. Price tag? Over $10 million. He doesn't just live like royalty, he literally bought a kingdom. Klay Thompson, after suffering a devastating injury, turned to the sea for healing. He bought a 37-foot luxury boat called the Splash Express for over $300,000. It became his sanctuary, his escape, and part of his rehab routine. The water helped him stay mentally grounded during the toughest stretch of his career. LeBron doesn't just invest in watches. He also held on to 2 rookie cards from 2003, autographed, ultra-rare, and worth $22,000 each at the time. Today, those same cards are worth over $10 million. By simply not selling them, LeBron multiplied his investment nearly 500 times. That's next-level financial instinct. Trae Young went a flashier route. After being drafted, he was gifted a diamond chain by a local Atlanta legend. That snowballed into an addiction to ice. Now he owns snowflake pendants, custom logo chains for his teammates, and a jewelry collection that could blind you in daylight. DeMar DeRozan's generosity backfired in a big way. After signing his first big contract, he treated 70 family members and friends to a full VIP day at Disneyland. Between private tickets, food, games, and security, it cost over $40,000. He admits to this day that it was one of the most stressful and regrettable decisions he ever made. Dwayne Wade wanted his 32nd birthday to be unforgettable. So he didn't just throw a party, he threw a floating spectacle. He rented a 130-foot luxury yacht called the Venetian Lady, then wrapped it in custom decals, decked out the interior with personalized decor, and even ordered a D. Wade-themed cake. There were 2 dance floors, full bars, and a sound system that could rock the Miami shoreline. By the time the night was over, Wade had spent more than $100,000. But to him, it wasn't about the cost. It was about crafting a moment that people would talk about for years. It wasn't just a celebration. It was a statement, a reflection of how far he'd come and how high he could rise. Not every NBA player chooses to express themselves through extravagance. Bismack Biyombo's story couldn't be more different. In 2021, after the sudden death of his father, Biyombo took an emotional step back from basketball. He missed over 7 months of the season to be with his family and to reflect on how he could honor the man who had shaped his life. When he returned, he made a decision that stunned the sports world. He donated his entire $1.5 million NBA salary to build a hospital in the Congo in his father's name. Here were no luxury yachts or private jets involved, just bricks, beds, and medicine. A facility to give hope to the hopeless, and a legacy that would save lives for generations. For Biyombo, that was more valuable than any trophy. Some players spend for the spotlight, others spend to make a difference. Whether it's flashy chains, medieval castles, or life-saving hospital, because at the end of the day, wealth doesn't transform a person. It magnifies their true self. If you want to hear more unbelievable stories like these, don't forget to subscribe us.